Hey everyone, how you doing today? Sorry about my attempt at this video a little bit ago. I must have had my microphone turned off when I was going through this. And it's not that I was going through much, but I just wanted to show you the new ship and talk a little bit about that. And I spawned like every Imperial creation I've got or have made so far out here just because I was having fun, I think, before the video. And again, very sorry about no audio in the last video, and I appreciate the heads up on that. I did make that video for now not public. I did respond in the comments, basically saying thanks for the heads up on that, and I'm just gonna kind of remake it. So basically, the whole point of the video was I wanted to show where I'm at with this new ship here, and I did skin it to be Imperial. Or color and texture it. I call it skin it quite a bit, but it was kind of a choice. Originally, it was going to be a Scar ship, and then I asked in the last video if it should be Imperial, and I think everybody said yes, it should be Imperial. So it is now Imperial. And this is kind of what it looks like, and basically what I was trying to explain in the video with no audio. Ken, very sorry about that. I feel really bad. I didn't look at the comments for like a good hour. I came back and there's like 6 comments saying no audio. I'm like, anyway, part of what I was trying to show on this is I tried to get rid of the frog look on the back of the ship here. I did change the blocks around a little bit and got rid of the mouth, and you don't really see eyeballs anymore up there. So I think that is helping. A couple other things on this ship. The stats are pretty much the same as what they were the last time I showed this ship with a video that did have audio in it. I'm gonna rag on myself for a while on this one. I really appreciate the heads up on this. So, but anyway, speaking of the stats, I'm all over the place. This is like an unplanned video that I'm just really quickly trying to do here to show stuff. But essentially, I wanted to show the CPU. It's a 2.1 million CPU Core 9 Reforged Eden build for this month's Anvil Challenge, and I'm pretty light on the CPU usage as it sits now. Now, it does not have a shield in here. It does not have a warp drive in here. It doesn't have shield parts. It does have a big generator, and it does have these kind of placeholder turrets. But essentially what I want to do with the ship, it'd be a little bit different, is I kind of want to outfit this ship to Core 9 specifications stock. And I kind of wanted to ask you guys this question on that. Like, obviously, there will be a lot of opportunity to remove CPU using items in the ship to keep the costs lower at first, but I do that pretty much on most of these ships, and I kind of wanted to try to outfit this thing to be ready to go as soon as you spawn it in game. It might cost a little bit more, but it's going to have like the guns on it, the shield in it, everything. I think I can pull it all off with the CPU that's available to make this fairly worthy for like, you know, early game-ish combat things right off the gates without needing to add more parts or upgrade this or do that or add turrets or all kinds of other things, you know, to after the fact, after you spawn the ship in. And I wanted to see what you guys thought of that. Another thing too, sorry about the lighting here, I forgot to set that down again. This was kind of like a really quick video, sort of unplanned here to correct the other part I had. But this is what the ship is looking like skinned in the Imperial setup with a little better light this time. Why I originally had like a couple of these other ships spawned out here, and I got carried away and I spawned like literally every Imperial creation that I've made to date so far just to see what I actually did have. And then I was trying to figure out where this ship fits into the scheme of the CVs for this particular faction. And that's kind of what I was covering and trying to talk about in the video with no audio again. But a quick nutshell rundown here. The Ascension is a starter CV. So it's made to be fairly cheap and easy to get into game. It does do the farming. It has docking capacity. It has some storage capacity and things like that. It's not bad. It does what it is. It is a little bit more expensive starter CV comparatively speaking to the other starter CVs for other factions that I've made. This one's a little bit more pricey. It's a little bit more deluxe than those other ones. This ship falls into a weird bracket where this I would consider a starter combat ship. So it's not like the starter CV though, as this one would require rare resources and things like that, but it does not require any quantum or auxiliary cores, things like that. It hopefully will be fully workable with the CPU in the Reforged Eden Core 9 specifications. And so it's it's a weird thing. This one does not do any farming. The planned storage on it would be two 320k ammo bays and I believe two 320k storage bays. It will probably have room for a couple advanced constructors in it. And of course other utility function like maybe armor locker repair, med bay, that kind of thing. But again, it does not have an internal hangar. It has a kind of a small landing pad on the back. This is really just meant for parking maybe a SV salvager or miner or something like that there, something that can fit. Obviously not anything too big, but I think it just the utility function and just having that is nice to have. If you go blow up some ship in the game in some area, it'd be nice to be able to salvage it right on the fly, and the ship is not set up for any form of salvaging stock, at least. I mean, of course, you can mod any ship to salvage. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying it's just not set up for it. So the next one in the line here, and I actually am putting this one kind of above this unnamed ship in the middle here. This is the Kovex. This was a light carrier, or at least that's kind of what I deemed it as. And I think it fits a role. It's basically, if you, in a nutshell, to explain the difference between the Ascension and the Kovex, is the Kovex is just a little bit more powerful version of the Ascension. It's bigger. It's got more docking and storage capabilities. It's more thrust power. It's got a little bit more defense, but again, it's not a combat ship. But it's just a little bit more of everything, a little more, of that kind of stuff. So it's like a big Ascension, essentially, but it's going to cost a little bit more too because it's a little bit more capable. So the next one on the line here is the Carrack, and the Carrack I actually used in last season in on the Anvil server, this one is essentially, it's a little bit more expensive yet. And that basically is kind of like if you took these three ships and smashed them together into one ship is kind of what the Carrack is. So the Carrack is kind of set up to do combat to a degree. I mean, I'm not going to say you're taking out dreadnoughts or anything, but it does do combat. It does have a lot of turret mount positions. It does support medium shield parts, small shield parts, and has room in there for those, and it does have a hangar. It does have a landing pad. I would say it's probably got a little less storage than the Kovex in it, but again, it also does farming and all the other stuff. So it's again kind of like if you merge these three ships into one ship is what the Carrack is. So of course, the Carrack's a little bit more expensive, but essentially I was trying to make it so all these ships kind of fit together. So I wasn't trying to like recreate the same ship with the same specifications as another one. And I was a little worried about that, especially with this new one here. I was like, well, it's kind of like this and it's kind of like that. But obviously getting rid of the hangar and stuff that kind of changes it, and then trying to put more of a focus onto combat rather than other things such as farming and storage and production and all that fun stuff. And then, of course, the last or the first ship that I actually built for this particular faction, and this was just going to be a one-off, and I got carried away and built the rest of them essentially. But this one I just kind of wanted to have an attempt at building some kind of like dreadnought style ship that was obviously very modeled after a Star Destroyer from Star Wars. I can't do the shaping correctly, and it bugs me. I mean, it bugs me. I really want to do the big wedge angle piece going all the way across the bottom and the top of the ship and do it like a Star Destroyer, but it's literally impossible with the blocks. You can't pull that off. You can only do different variations of like nudging on the sides to try to sort of come to that shape. And I made the choice to do bigger nudges and less of them on this particular design. I've seen other authors do Star Destroyer type shapes where it was rather than you can see it comes out at a 45-degree angle, but every few blocks. Rather, I've seen others where it's like every other block or every 2 blocks or whatever ratio. I went with this particular ratio on this one. Now this is still a pretty it's an end game expensive ship. Cost wasn't really a concern when building this. It has kind of a ridiculous amount of forward thrust on it. But a lot of that was for the cosmetics of the ship. Big Star Wars ships do have a ridiculous amount of forward thrust on them, and usually no other thrust in any other directions. So I was trying to build some big thruster housings using 5 XL thrusters per housing, and trying to make a formation with that. But anyway, this is it's capable of having a lot of firepower on it. However, at the time that I built this particular ship, extra shield parts in Reforged Eden did not exist, and the fusion reactor and that kind of thing. So there are modded versions of this ship that do provide room for those other parts, which I really do think it probably should have, being the type of ship that it is. But one thing I can say is I believe the total number of turrets you can put on here is well over 100. I just don't know the exact count on that right now. And some of the turrets are also artillery positions. In fact, even stock here, I think it has like 8 or 10 artillery turrets on here, which is kind of rare for me to use. Plus, it also has launchers in these side compartments over here. So you got 6 launchers per side, I think. So yeah, just a big expensive ship. It was fun to build, and actually was really happy to see that it's actually in Reforged Eden as a enemy AI controlled ship that actually got into a fight with the Kriel Sagawan and won, at least that version. Then I was gave heads up and shown some pictures of some other modified versions that are also in game, in Reforged Eden at least, that are more souped up more than the one that I was fighting. So anyway. And then lastly, with the Imperial faction, again, I'm just trying to do a recap on the video that I had no audio with. I only made 2 bases. So there's a really dinky little starter base, 40-minute build time, super cheap, little solar, little storage, a little farm, just little. But it's inexpensive. You get throw it down really fast. It doesn't require any form of rare resources or anything like that. I know I haven't looked at the stats on all these, but so yeah, cheap starter base to get going pretty quickly. And then of course I made the Palisade over here, this was just kind of a experimental base. I like it though. It's a weird design, obviously because of its design and trying to be weird looking and different looking. I got rid of some potential storage space that it could have had, like I could have made it more boxy and had a landing pad or something on the top or something like that. But yeah, it was kind of fun just to do things a lot different. This one over here does have a fairly decent sized hangar in it, quite a bit of storage, pretty large farming section. Actually, farms are distributed amongst 3 different floors. So yeah, if you're into farming, some solar panels. I won't say this is not maxing out, or is it? Yeah, I think it is maxing out the solar panel count. For some reason, I thought it wasn't, but yeah, I'm looking at the solar panels here, and it looks like we're definitely over 14 solar panels. So we got 10, actually 12. Yeah, so it'd be a full solar panel usage for bases in Reforged Eden. So if you're looking for a solar base with a decent amount of production and farming capabilities, that would be a good one. Of course, it's going to cost a little more because it's quite a bit bigger than the starter base. This one's coming in at 6 hours and 43 minutes. So the other one was only coming in at 40 minutes. So obviously some difference there, but this is more capable. But that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. I just mainly wanted to show this new ship here on what it's looking like, all textured and everything. And again, just one more time, I wanted to apologize on the audio. One other thing I made mention of, I'm going to do a block experiment video tomorrow. I want to try to build a particular shape, or to see how good that shape could actually be built with everything available, including all the main blocks in the game, plus Reforged Eden structural frame blocks, which allow for higher wedge style angles. However, they do have some limitations themselves, as you can't texture them or paint them with unique or custom made colors, I should say. But that is all I've got there. And again, sorry, I just kind of wanted to go over the Imperial faction. Primary reason I ended up having all these other Imperial ships out here is after I painted this one, I spawned in a couple others to see how this would look with them all next to each other. And I did that just to see if my paint job was in line with the paint jobs on the other ships over in the same set. And I think personally, I think it fits pretty good. It doesn't look out of place. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. So that was kind of the goal. Anyway, you all have yourself a great day. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Also, I thought I was going to get a little bit more done on this ship by this time, but I also did forget it was the 4th of July weekend, and I had some other activities and things to do, so I wasn't building or working on the ship as much as I had planned. But other than that, I do have to do the interior yet on this one, and I'm going to try to make it nice and usable and all that fun stuff. The big question I have for this video, though, how do you feel about my idea of just outfitting this thing to the 2.1 million specs right off the gates? Obviously, it's going to make the upfront cost more, but once you get it, you just can start using it. You don't have to run around and upgrade and change things and add this and do this and a bunch of other busy work. Now, usually I don't go that way because it makes sense to have it cheaper, and players can put what they want on it. But in this case, I'm thinking, well, maybe I could mix it up just on this one ship and just kind of have it ready to go as soon as you get it. It might be all right that way. Anyway, if you got any other things to point out, or any other recommendations for this ship, or something that I'm missing, please let me know in the comments, and hopefully you can hear me this time. And you all have yourself a great day. I will talk to you later.